video, we're going to look at loops. So there's a specific thing you can do in Python programming, or any programming language for that matter, where you can loop through something. So this is really, really useful because computers are very good at doing the same thing over and over again. So we've got two different types of loops that we can do in Python. In other languages, we've got some other ones, but this one we've got is called a count controlled loop. Okay, and this is all to do with iteration. So to iterate is to do something over and over again. Okay, and that's exactly what we're doing. And count controlled means it's doing it a number of times, essentially, right? So the count controlled loop is called a for loop. Now, when I mentioned the fact that other programming languages might have one or two other loops, well, mainly just one other loop. So in Python, we can do a for loop and we can do something called a while loop. And in other languages, you've also got repeat until, but we don't actually have that. So just write your comments at the top of your codes just to indicate what we're doing here. Put today's date in there too, and then you can put the author, which is yourself. So author, I'm going to put myself, so there we go. Right, so the first kind of loop is just to say to loop through a range of numbers, right? And we will just print those numbers out. So we'll say 4, so this is the for loop. So for x, now x is a variable that we're using here within our loop. So you notice the way I haven't said beforehand things like this. I haven't said x is equal to 0 or anything like that, or x is equal to anything else, but it is a variable, okay? But it's a variable that's going to change within my loop. So you say for x in range, and we're going to say the range of 10. Now, this is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with this. So you notice when I put these two dots, the next line is indented in, so you've got this indentation here. And what this means that we're going to execute everything in here a number of times, which will essentially be 10 times, right? So we will do print, and we can print anything we want, but we'll just print x, which is basically these numbers, right? So within the range, that's going to be, x is going to start off with, well, you could guess at what number that's going to be, but it's going to start off with 0, and it's going to be 0 up to 9. So we will run this. So if I do F5 to run it, and of course I need to save it first, and I will just call this for loops exercise 01. Now, I notice sometimes when you're saving your files, you might want to actually do this in a different way. So you could actually do it where you write ex01. Keep all your exercises in order. So if you're already on exercise, I don't know, whatever it is, 10, 11, 12, and so on, things like that, keep them in order number-wise. But if this is your first exercise for loops, you could do it like this. So try and keep your files organized. That's the main thing I would say. Now, when this runs, you can see it has started at 0. So the index of this begins with 0 and ends with 9. So it goes up to 10, but not including 10. So you can see what that's done there. Now, if we just change that, of course, and do 11, so this is actually then going to include then 10 as well. So that's the main thing that you can see for basic for loop, and the differences between including a specific number at the end of it. Okay, now that's not all we could do. We could actually stay, because maybe we don't want to do it from 0 here. So the other thing we could do, well, we'll leave this, turn this code off. So there's a way of turning this off but not deleting it. So usually you might think about deleting code, but we can just do this, where we do 3 single quotes, and then on the other end 3 single quotes, and that essentially turns this code off. You can do it with one line of code as well. So if I was doing 4x in range here, This time I will do something else, but you can imagine that I could turn one line of code off by just doing the hash symbol, which is basically turning it into a comment. Well, this is a comment as well, but it's a multi-line comment, and it's really useful. Imagine you've got an algorithm almost complete, but it doesn't quite work, and you might want to just turn it off for whatever reason, or you might want to turn off some other code for just so that you can test a certain code that you're working on right at the minute. So we've turned that off, so that's not going to happen anymore. And now we will turn this one back on, so you can see this. Now, I said about what if we want to just do 1 to 10. So to do 1 to 10, we would actually say the first number and then to the last number. And yet again, we could just do print x. If I run this, there you go. You can see it's doing 1 to 10 right there. So that's the first little video, just talking about that basic range of numbers. But we could also do something else apart from that. So I can turn this one off as well by just taking those three and putting it down here. So it's good to keep these on a file so you can see the different types of ranges that you can do. And this one would be 4x in range again, but we're going to try something else. So let's see, we'll do 1 to 30 and we'll add another 2 onto the end of this. Now you can actually see that it's come up here that I've got range and it says start, stop, so it stops at 30 and it does a step. So this step is basically going to do every other one, so every 2. So I've just got to do this print, and this is quite useful if you were needing to do something like that. You can see we've got that there, and it's doing from 1, it does 1, then it skips 1, right, and so on. Okay, so we can try. You could try it with a few different numbers. So you could try like that. And you see the kind of things that you get there. Now, what if you wanted to do it where you started off or you got all the even numbers, so you're just wanting to get these even numbers in? Well, what you could do here is actually just set that to 2 and change that to 0, and then we're going to get all the even numbers from 0. Or you could set this, if you don't want to get 0 included, of course you get 2 there, and it depends what you're starting at, and then you can see we're just getting even numbers printed out. Okay, and you can do obviously the same with our odd numbers like I was doing previously. Right? Very easy.